Hey guys, welcome back to CA Dreams YouTube channel. Wishing you all a very happy new year 2021. So guys, 2020 was a really challenging year for most of us, for everyone, as we have to face so much of lockdown and everything. But I really wish that this year turns out to be happy and full of healthy environment and new hopes. So, guys, those who are going to appear for January 2021, I hope that my videos have helped you till date and are helping you if you are still completing with your syllabus. But I would suggest that if you are appearing for January, that means your exam will be on, I guess, 3rd of February, then you should now stop it and you should start revising, as the time for studying is over. And the students who are going to appear in May 2021 and further attempts, let's get started with the lecture number 8 in English. And please ignore if you are hearing any noise, because it is New Year, so there is a lot of noise coming from outside. But let's start with the lecture, okay? Please excuse me for that. So we have to start with the topic removal of auditors. So removal of auditor before expiry of term. Now see guys, here it is not written that the tenure of auditors is expired. Okay, it is written that we are removing the auditor. Okay, so what does that mean? Suppose you are working in any organization as an auditor or as an employee. Okay, suppose you are an article only. Okay, now what happens is it is said that you are removed from your position. So what is happening? The other person is removing you. That means he or she is removing you from your position. You are not ready to quit, but the other person is removing you. So in the similar way, it is not written that the tenure of auditor is expired, but it is written that we are discarding with the agreement. We are removing the auditor from his position before the expiry of his term. That means, as you already know, that an individual has a tenure of 5 years and an audit firm has a tenure of 2 consecutive 5 years, and after that the cooling period is started. Okay, but if the auditor is removed before the tenure period is expired, then that situation is termed as removal of auditors. Okay, I hope that you are clear with the heading. So now let us start with the content. And for the content also, I would suggest you that just pick up with your pens and colored pens if you have, and your sticky notes if you have. If you don't have sticky notes, you have space in the book only. So just pick up your pens and start writing whatever I am dictating, because this whole content is written in a very messed up way. That means it is not written in a proper sequence, and so you may face difficulty in understanding this topic. So whatever I will tell you to write, you have to write, otherwise you will really face difficulty in understanding this. Okay, so please cooperate with me and pick up your pens or pencils or with whatever you want to write, and write whatever I am saying. Okay, so first of all, listen me, and when I'll say that you have to write, you have to write. Okay. So it is written according to section number 140, subsection 1, the auditor appointed under section 139 may be removed from his office before the expiry of his term only by a special resolution of the company. Now see, they are saying that if you want to remove the auditor, a special resolution is required. Now, those who have studied law already know that what is a special resolution. Those who have not studied law, let me tell you that you will study this in detail in law only. But for an idea, I would say that special resolution is that resolution where the majority of votes are there. Okay, that means the majority of company, when the majority is agreeing towards something, then that particular resolution is termed as a special resolution. Okay. So when majority is agreeing to a particular thing, then a special resolution is passed. Okay. So if you want to remove an auditor from his position, it is such a major decision. Ordinary resolution is required for small decisions, and special resolution is required for heavy or weighted decisions or big decisions. So you need the participation of majority, you need the agreement of majority, and that is why you need to pass a special resolution. Okay. So because removal of auditor is a very very big decision for the company, that is why before removing the auditor you need to pass a special resolution. So please mark this word, as this may be asked in your MCQ. So please underline it or highlight it or whatever you want to do, but please do highlight this particular point, as this may be asked in your MCQ, or even they may mention it in correct or incorrect. So you need to read the full statement or the paragraph carefully, and then you have to attempt the question. Okay. Now they are saying, the first thing what they have said is special resolutions. To remove the auditor, what do you need? You need a special resolution. So just write here, special resolution is to be passed for the removal of auditor. Special resolution is to be passed by the company. Okay, please do write special resolution is to be passed by the company. Just put a pointer and write this point. Put a pointer and write this point. It is very important, and you will come to know that why I was saying all this. Okay. So first point, what I have made you write is special resolution. It is not actually the first point, but it is the point. Okay. So please do leave some space before writing this point, and just write this point here. Okay. Special resolution, and you have to write the first point, second point, third point before this point. Okay. So please start from the bottom and write here. Okay. Leave one pointer here and start with the second last pointer. Okay. Now they are saying, after obtaining previous approval of the central government in that behalf. So now what they are saying? They are saying that before passing the resolution, what do you need? You need a previous approval. You need approval of the central government in that behalf as per Rule 7 of CAAR 2014. Now what they are saying that you will pass a special resolution, but before passing a resolution, what another thing do you need is you need an approval from the central government as per the Rule 7 of CAAR 2014. Okay. So this is your another point, and you have to write before this point. Okay, you have written a special resolution point here, and before this point you have to write approval from the central government as per Rule 7 of CAAR 2014. Please learn this rule number and this act name also, because it is important. And you have to write here approval of central government as per Rule 7 of CAAR 2014. Okay, so in this way I have made you write 2 points. Now let's move on to the another text. Now they are saying the application to the central government for removal of auditor shall be made in form ADT2 and shall be accompanied with fees as provided for this purpose under the company's registration offices and fees rules 2014. Now see guys, uh, you have learned that you have to pass in special resolution, and before passing the special resolution you have to obtain approval from the central government. Now they are describing that how you are going to obtain approval from the central government. Central government will not come to you to give you approval. You have to apply to the central government to obtain the approval, right? So that is why they are saying that what you are going to do, you are going to make an application to the central government, and in the response of that application only you are going to get the approval. So the application to the central government for removal of auditor shall be made in which form? Form number ADT2. Form number ADT2. So what is your first point? No, it is not actually your first point. Now this is your second point. Okay, now before this pointer you have to write in the next pointer, in the above pointer, you have to write application to CG in form ADT2. Application to CG for the removal in ADT2. Application to CG for the removal in ADT2. Okay. Now they are saying the application shall be made to the CG within 30 days of the resolution passed by the board. Now they are saying that before making an application also, what you are going to do is you are going to pass a board resolution. So now what you are going to do is, now you are going to write the first point. This will be your first point, pass a board resolution. What you are going to write? First point is pass the board resolution. I am dictating everything again. If you have not written, please write pass the board resolution. Then your second point will be within 30 days of board resolution, make an application to CG in form number ADT2 for the removal of auditor. Okay, then they are saying the company shall hold the general meeting within 60 days of receipt of approval of the central government for passing the special resolution. Now what they are saying, that when you have obtained the approval from the central government within 60 days after you have received the approval, obtained the approval, you are going to conduct the meeting to pass the special resolution. So they have returned back to what they were saying in the first paragraph. Okay, so now I am repeating everything again, and you have to write the pointers if you have not written. Okay, so your first point in this is you have to pass the board resolution. Okay, then your second point is going to be within 30 days of passing the board resolution, you have to make an application to CG in form number EDT2. Okay, then your third point is going to be that after obtaining the approval from the central government, you have to conduct the meeting within 60 days of approval. Okay, after receiving the approval from the central government, you have to conduct the meeting in which you are going to pass the special resolution within 60 days of the receipt of approval. Within 60 days of the receipt of approval, you are going to, what you are going to do, you are conduct the meeting and you have to pass a special resolution for the removal of auditor. Okay, I hope that you could understand the context, and if you have not understood, then please do revert back, just rewind back and listen the whole topic again. I'm damn sure that you will understand everything. Okay, so those who have not written the pointers, please rewind and please do write. As you, I hope now you have understood that why I'm making you write the pointers, because you can yourself see that everything is given in a messed up way in the book. So that is why you need to learn the points. Okay, I have told you the sequence. I hope you have understood. Now let's move on to the further paragraphs. Now they are saying that it is important to note that before taking any action for removal before expiry of the terms, the auditor concerned shall be given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Now, as an auditor is on such a big post, it is he's in a very respected position, and so just by a resolution or just by any approval, you cannot remove him before discussing anything with him. So he should be given, first of all, he should be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard. And after that discussion also, if you are disagreeing, then only you should proceed with the procedure of removal of auditor, and else you should continue with that. Okay, so they are saying that for any action, first of all, an auditor should be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard. Okay, now this was for the removal of auditor. Now this removal of auditor, here it is not necessary that an auditor is wrong only or he is committed in a fraud only. There might be some disagreement also between the company and the auditor, and so the company want to discontinue with him in the audit. Okay, but this green box, here they are saying that there is a direction by tribunal in case auditor acted in a fraudulent manner. Now in this green box we are going to study that because the auditor is acting in a fraudulent manner, and so there are orders from the tribunal that this auditor should be removed. Okay, so in this here are three situations. The first situation is that where the tribunal has came to know himself The tribunal has came to know that the auditor is involved in the fraud on its own. The second situation is where the application is made to the tribunal by the central government. And the third situation is where any person concerned has told the tribunal or has filed with the tribunal, complained with the tribunal that the auditor has directly or indirectly acted in a fraudulent manner. Okay, so there are three situations because of which the tribunal comes to know that the auditor is directly or indirectly involved in the fraud or has abetted or colluded in any fraud in relation to the company, its directors or officers. Okay, directors and officers are also included here. So in the first situation and third situation, that means if the tribunal comes to know that the auditor is directly or indirectly involved in fraud on its own, or if any person concerned has told the auditor has complained with the tribunal that the auditor is being involved in the fraud, then in these situations the tribunal will direct the company to change its auditor. The tribunal will direct the company to change its auditor. The tribunal will say to the company that company, now this Mr. ABC or ABC firm will not be the auditor, as we have came to know that this firm or this individual is involved in the fraud. Okay, but if the application is made to it by the CG, if the application is made to the company, made to the tribunal by CG, if central government has told the tribunal that the auditor has committed in fraud, so in that situation what will the tribunal do? The tribunal in that situation shall direct the company within 15 days of the application made to it by the central government. The tribunal shall direct the company that this auditor shall discontinue to be the auditor, and now your new auditor will be appointed by the central government. So suppose central government has told the tribunal on 1st of January that this particular auditor is involved in fraud. Okay, so till 16th January, that means within 60 days of the receipt of this application by the CG, the tribunal shall direct the company to discontinue with the auditor, and the new auditor will be appointed by the central government. And here they were saying that the tribunal directs the company to change its auditor, but here they are saying that central government may appoint another auditor. Okay, so this is the difference between the first and third situation and the second situation. Okay, now they are saying that it may be noted that an auditor, whether individual or firm, against whom final audit has been passed by the tribunal, now the auditor or the firm against whom this order has been passed that he shall be disqualified or he shall discontinue. So what will be the liability for that auditor? First of all, that particular auditor shall be liable under section 447, and also he shall not be eligible to become the auditor of any company for 5 years. For any company. Here it is not written for that particular company only. Here it is written for any company for a period of 5 years from the date of passing of the order, and he shall also be liable under section 447. Also, if there is an audit firm and there are several partners and all the partners should be liable, that means under section 447, and all the partners will become disqualified to become the auditor of any company. Like suppose in XYZ, X and Z are fraud, they are committed in fraud, and Y is he is not involved in the fraud. So in this situation, XYZ will also be disqualified, and also Mr. X, Mr. Z and Mr. Y, all the three auditors, all the three partners of that particular firm will be disqualified. Okay, fine. Now let's move on to the further topic. So they are saying appointment of auditor other than retiring auditor. So now they are saying that they are going to appoint another auditor in the place of the auditor who is going. Now you can just you cannot just not remove any auditor. You cannot just let any auditor go like this only. They have already mentioned that he should be given a chance of reasonable opportunity. But suppose the situation is that your company is planning, okay, your company is planning to change the auditor, and what you are going to do is you are going to discuss that whom to appoint with the next auditor. So we are going to discuss that the procedure to appoint an auditor other than on retiring auditor who was removed, or whom you are planning that we are going to remove this auditor, so who should be the auditor in the place of this auditor. So in that case, what should happen is a special notice shall be required for resolution at an annual general meeting appointing as auditor a person other than retiring auditor. Okay. So they are saying that first of all, what you are going to do, you are going to send in special notice to all the members of the company who are going to attend the general meeting. Okay. Now they are saying that if the situation is that the auditor, who is the retiring auditor, has already completed the period of his tenure. Okay, so in that situation, this section will not apply. In that situation, the normal appointment of auditor procedure will apply. But if the situation is the removal of auditor, then only this procedure shall be applied. Okay. So now they are saying, first of all, special notice shall be given to all the members who are going to come in the general meeting. Now they are saying that on receipt of notice of such a resolution, the company shall forthwith send a copy thereof to the retiring auditor. Now they are saying that in that special notice it shall also be written that there is a resolution to be passed by the members of the company for the appointment of auditor other than the retiring auditor. So this same copy should be sent to the retiring auditor, because he is being removed and in place of him another auditor is to be substituted. So that is why you know that copy should also be sent to the retiring auditor by the company. Now, where notice is given of such a resolution and the retiring auditor makes with respect to the thereto representation in writing to the company and request its notification to the members of the company shall, unless the representation is received too late for it to do so, give to the members and send a copy to every member. Now they are saying that first of all they are going to send the special notice to the members, and second point in this they are saying that they will send a copy of that notice to the retiring auditor. Now they are saying, now suppose on the receipt of the notice of the special notice, if the auditor wants to give any representation in writing to the auditor, then what will be the procedure? They are saying that if the auditor wants to give any representation, first of all it should be of a reasonable length. Secondly, it should not be received by the company too late. That means it should be received on time. Okay. And if it is received on time, then what will the company do? In that case, the company will forward the representation of the auditor in any notice of the resolution given to the members, and also uh, state the fact of representation that is having been made, and also the company shall send the copy of that particular representation to every member to whom notice was sent, okay, whether before or after the receipt of the representation by the company. And if a copy of representation is not sent by the company because it was received too late or because of the company's default, then the auditor may himself read the representation in the general meeting, and if after listening to that representation the members try to discuss on their resolution again, then they discuss it again, and if they still insist with their decision, then that particular auditor, that retired auditor, is removed and another auditor is replaced. Okay. So they are saying that students may note that if a copy of representation is not sent, a copy thereof shall be filed with the registrar. And curtailing right, they have already written. And if the tribunal is satisfied on application either of the company or any other aggrieved person that the rights conferred of the Companies Act are being abused by the auditor, then the copy of representation may not be sent and the representation need not be read out at the meeting. So they are saying that you have already learned this particular context where we discussed about the removal of auditor, and here we discussed that the direction of tribunal was given, and because of the orders by the tribunal the auditor was being removed. So they are saying that if the tribunal is satisfied that the auditor has abused with his rights, then no need to circulate that particular representation made by the auditor. But If the situation is that you are disagreeing with the auditor, then he should be given one chance to be heard. Okay, and after hearing him, if still you are dissatisfied in him, then only you should change with the auditor. So this was all which was written in this removal and appointment of the retiring auditor other than retiring auditor. And now we will discuss with the 7th, 8th and 9th topic with the next videos. Okay, so in the coming 3 or 4 videos, your chapter will be completed, chapter number 10. Okay, so I hope my videos are helping you, and please do share them so that these videos may help to the maximum people. I am making these special videos for my South Indian students and those students who want to learn in English. So I'm making these videos for you people only. So please do support me and share my videos. So ending this video here, and for any doubts, feel free to comment. Thank you guys.